Hey guys, calling back again. Um, I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm just going to kind of wing it. I don't have anything planned. I just picked out a few records to show, and maybe I'll read something from a book. How have you all been doing? We've still been really busy, as you know. I still need to answer my comments from the last video, so don't get disturbed. I'm getting around to that. Um, But I thought I'd show you a few country albums, and today we're going to show some Merle Haggard. And this first one is Sing Me Back Home by Merle Haggard and the Strangers. Vehicles over 6,000 pounds. Gross, prohibited, freeway entrance. And this has some pretty good old tunes by him on there. Sing Me Back Home, The Son of a Hickory Holler's Tramp. Home is where your kid grew up. Mom and Dad's Walk, walk. Did I get that right? Mom and Dad's Waltz. You couldn't hardly see the letters on the front of that, but that's a pretty cool old cover there of a younger Merle Haggard, one of his earlier records. And this is a pretty good record to pick up if you see that somewhere. It's usually pretty cheap. Um, and these other two are just greatest hits compilations. Now, I recommend if you're going to get some Merle Haggard, I would go with the greatest hits unless you want to get like 50 albums. The first one is the best of Merle Haggard. I've showed this over and over, and that's green. You're going to get the green screen effect. If I decide to use that, I might just not do it on this video because that takes so long anyways. Um, and the best of Merle Haggard. Okie from Muskogee is on this. Working Man Blues. That's one of my favorite ones. Um, Daddy Frank, Caroline, No Reason to Quit. Every Fool Has a Rainbow. And The Fighting Side of Me are some pretty good ones off of this. And there's a bunch of them. Merle Haggard's greatest hits are the best of Merle Haggard. And this other one is Merle Haggard's Epics Hits, the first 11. Again, this is I've showed this before, but I just figured I'd throw in three of my Merle Haggards together here for y'all. Um, this also has Reasons to Quit. That's the Way That Love Goes. Are the Good Times Really Over? Big City. That's another favorite of mine. Poncho and Lefty with Willie Nelson. Um, my favorite memory. Um, Now this is another one. I'd get that one if you see that somewhere. Um, and that's kind of just I wanted to show a really short little thing in my few of my country records there. Uh, do any of you have any favorite country artists besides the big ones like Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard, Loretta Lynn, or those are the old school country artists? Well, some of them, but do you guys have any? You know, just say whoever they are. I guess it could be whoever you want to say. Country artists, new ones, old ones, some maybe that have crossed over each way. Um, even and there's not hardly any people of color in the country business. Let's see, a famous one was Charlie Pride. Charlie Pride, was he the black gentleman that did country music? I think I might be getting that mixed up with somebody else, but I can't remember. You know what I mean? People of color. Uh, and lastly, I kind of have a book here I wanted to show. Uh, I've read all of Charles Bukowski's books, most of them. But I have not read a lot of these. I have a few of these in my collection, which I haven't really gotten around to reading a lot of them. I've just read bits and pieces. Uh, Charles Bukowski, you can kind of tell my reading tastes. I read this guy before I read Jack Kerouac. I seem to have a thing for the drunks and well, I guess a lot of the writers back then, if you're an artist, there's usually they had some type of addiction or affliction or something like that. And Charles Bukowski was a drunk, and so was Jack Kerouac. They were both drinkers. I don't know if you'd call them drunks. They like to get sauced up now and then, Anyways, but this is Charles Bukowski, a Charles Bukowski reader, and this is a compilation of his writings over the years, and it's kind of their autobiographical writings that he sort of wrote about his life off and on over the years. And I just thought I would read one out of this, and I have not read this whole thing through, and it's called My Old Man. And speaking of old drunks, we'll have a cheers to that. My Old Man. 16 years old during the Depression, I'd come home drunk, and all my clothing, short shoes, stockings, suitcase, and pages of short stories would be thrown out on the front lawn and about the street. My mother would be waiting behind a tree. Henry, Henry, don't go in. He'll kill you. He's read your stories. I can whip his ass. Henry, please take this and find yourself a room. But it worried him that I might not finish high school, so I'd be back again. One evening he walked in with the pages of my short stories, which I had never submitted to him, and he said, "This is a great short story." I said, "Okay." And he handed it to me, and I read it. It was a story about a rich man who had a fight with his wife and had gone out into the night for a cup of coffee and had observed the waitress and the spoons and forks and the salt and pepper shakers and the neon sign in the window, and then had gone back to his stable to see and touch his favorite horse, who then kicked him in the head and killed him. Somehow, the story held meaning for him, though. When I had written it, I had no idea of what I was writing about, so I told him, "Okay, old man, you can have it." He took it and walked out and closed the door. I guess that's as close as we ever got. And that's just a little short thingy out of Charles Bukowski, the Charles Bukowski reader. And that's kind of a story about his father. And, that kind of hits home a little bit because a lot of us, like myself, I didn't have a father around, and he wasn't around because he was out drinking pretty much. And this is about Charles Bukowski was out drinking, and it kind of sounded like he was searching maybe for some acceptance from his father or something, but they really didn't get along with each other, and his father must have been a dirty bastard of a character or something, and and I guess that was their only connection, was that little moment, according to that little story. Um, I'll do another one. Friendly advice to a lot of young men. Go to Tibet, ride a camel, read the Bible, dye your shoes blue, grow a beard, circle the world in a paper canoe, subscribe to the Saturday Evening Post, chew on the left side of your mouth only. Many a woman with one leg and shave with a straight razor, and carve your name. Marry a woman with one leg and shave with a straight razor and carve your name in her arm. Brush your teeth with gasoline. Sleep all day and climb trees at night. Be a monk and drink buckshot and beer. Hold your head under water and play the violin. Do a belly dance before pink candles. Kill your dog, run for mayor. Live in a barrel. Break your head with a hatchet. Plant tulips in the rain. But don't write poetry. Oh, okay. Maybe that was just for me. I don't know. Anyways, that's my video for tonight. Thanks for joining in. Calling over and out, and Weirdos Unite.